Welcome everybody back to the channel. Hope you had an amazing weekend. Today we're going to talk about something slightly different. We're going to talk about how we go about earning our money. There's a piece in the Telegraph right now in the money section, which I've read and I'm torn, but my mind also boggles because I did a 180 from this mindset a while back. And many will say this is luxury, but you'll see the headline in a moment. Before we jump into all of this though, if you do enjoy this conversation, please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 80,000 subscribers by the end of this year, which is fast rolling up. We're about 71,600 or something like that, or 300 or something like that at the moment. So if you do get value, please subscribe. I really do appreciate it. If you do like the video as well, please click the like button so that other people get to see the video. But let me just show you the article, okay? And this, tell me what you think of the headline. 4-day weeks don't work. We work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. And these are from tech founders in the city. Now, I'm going to share with you my own unique take on this because I have my own very, very near death experience with this kind of mindset, which is why I've stepped away from it. But this article, which I will link in the comment section, go read it. It's very fascinating. It is by founders, tech founders working in the city. And bearing in mind, these are founders. So these people are building businesses. They've got investment in. So now they're incumbent to an investor to build a business to give them their money back plus their returns. It's a very, very difficult place to be in. There's a lot of, it's glamorized when you raise funds for something now. People don't necessarily realize that when you raise funds for your business and you have investors, you become, for all intents and purposes, the slave of the investors, especially if you don't get the right type of investors where you're able to build a relationship with them. And so this kind of this rhetoric is glorified. Everybody wants to be a founder. Everybody wants to be a creator. Everybody wants to do this and do that, right? But people often don't highlight the negative and the downsides of being a creator, of being a founder, so on and so forth. It's all about we raise this much and this is what we're building and this is what we hope it's going to do. The amount of founders that sometimes don't end up with multi-million-pound balances because things don't go to plan, those are very, very rarely highlighted. And so look, let me just read this to you, right? And you just tell me what you think in the comment section down below, okay? So it says here, 4-day weeks with full-time pay have become a commonplace in many British businesses, but some are bucking the trend and are taking inspiration from China and Silicon Valley. At Deep Reel, most of the team work 5.5 days a week. It says here, I should have made the expectation 6 days, says the founder, Sahil. I believe in 996, a concept that originated in China and is now big in Silicon Valley. You should work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. In Europe, we are going in the wrong direction, talking about 4-day weeks. No wonder China and the US are dominating. Let me know what you think of that opening salvo right there, okay? Because I think there are two angles to this perspective. As a founder, I can understand where the mindset comes from, because if you're employing someone, you want them to be able to build the business with you, right? You're probably going after the most talented people. You're probably paying them a very, very good wage. And look, here's the thing though. I don't care if you're being paid £500,000 a year. You can get paid £500,000 a year. And if you're working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day, 6 days a week at least, right? You are going to have negative impacts on your physical well-being and your mental well-being. And once one of two of those, or two of them are gone, the 500 grand that you're earning means nothing at all, right? And so I feel like trying to glorify this type of thing in an article, I think is counterproductive. I really, really do. And thinking about this from the perspective of an employee, what employee would sign up to this if not for the money, given where we are as a society right now? Now, let's just go down a little bit here. This is Sahil, by the way. Good guy. There's a quote here from another founder, okay? So Samuel, 33, he runs Connected, an AI platform for startup investment, also works on the weekends. That's my favorite time to tackle deep tasks because there are no interruptions. I faked being sick on Christmas Day so I could spend time working. I mean, just take a moment to think about that. Now, I understand that people love what they do. And oftentimes the most successful people are obsessed with what they do, right? But I do think that this is a lot of podcast narrative nonsense that goes to influence people's thinking and how they apply themselves. Now, if he likes it on Christmas Day, completely fine. But if you have family, what could possibly be more important than spending time with family? Work? Work? Honestly? Let's carry on because there's a segment down here which is absolutely. Oh, here's something right. You miss every birthday. Goes, oh, a social life. I remember that. Samuel jokes. You miss every birthday, the weddings, the babies. You end up with three friends and get it, and they get it. You end up with three friends that get it and stick with you. That could be true because to put in that level of dedication, you need to, you're pretty bonkers. You've got to be obsessed with what you're doing, and not that many people will understand that. I understand it to an extent, but I also did a 180 from that place of thinking, and I'll explain in a moment why. But here's something else, right? Let's just read this bit. Strict regime. So Samuel's saying here that he's rebooted his lifestyle as he builds his AI business. I've dedicated myself to achieving optimal performance, he said. He gets up at 6 a.m. every day and follows a strict regimen. This is it. I drink 750 milliliters of water and get out into the sunlight, he says. Near where I live, there's a patch of green grass, so I go there and get grounded. For breakfast, probably nothing. I love fasting, he says. I practice intermittent fasting every day. Each month, I'll do a 3-day fast. About 40 hours in, you get an unbelievable burst of energy. Samuel recently fasted for 85 hours straight. I had so much energy that it was hard to sleep. Every quarter, I want to start doing a week-long fast to unlock other levels of focus. And then he says here, I front load tasks that require the most cognitive effort at the start of the day. If I wake up and immediately check my emails, I'm wasting prime energy on low value tasks. Now, some of this stuff I can agree with. Okay, so making sure that you're doing the most intensive stuff at the beginning of the day and when you're fresh, I completely get that. But the rest of this stuff, you tell me, right? For breakfast, probably nothing. That sounds like a lot of Dava CEO advice that people have taken on board. And if it works for you, it works for you, right? But what I'm trying to get at here is it really productive? Now, I have my own view of this because, like I said, I used to be like this. I did a 180 from this. Now, in 2019, I almost died because of this type of mentality. And at that point, I was still employed. I was working for a discretionary fund manager at the time. And I pride myself in my work, how well I do my work, how thorough it is, and how good of a result I deliver. Very, very focused on that. And to a certain extent, that was part of my identity when I was in corporate land, because I was known to do very, very good work and to cultivate really good relationships and bring in good results. And when you identify as such, you tend to be the kind of person that will work the extra hours. But anyway, I digress. I remember one time I had a fall on, I think it was the Saturday or the Sunday. I cracked my ribs. And on the Monday, I woke up, bit of discomfort, couldn't really breathe properly, couldn't draw a full breath, but I carried working through the week. Okay. And I got to the Friday. I hadn't gone to the hospital, didn't get checked. I thought, my body will just, heal up like most men do when they get hurt. By the Friday, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lie down sleeping anyway. I had to sit in a chair to sleep. And I had a golf event on the Friday. And I said to my missus, look, I probably need to go to the hospital. Or she was telling me I need to go to the hospital. And I was like, look, I'll go when I get back from this golf event. I need to go see some advisors. And once I'm done, we go. As I'm getting ready, I can't really move. I'm moving around gingerly. I'm taking really shallow breaths because, again, at that point, I couldn't take a full breath, like even quarter of a breath. I was very, very shallow breathing. In the end, she was like, no, we're going to the hospital. And the hospital rushed me, so A&E rushed me through immediately. And they said, if you had come 2 to 3 hours from now, you'd gone off to your golf event, you'll be dead. And what they found out when they did a scan of my lungs was because I was shallow breathing, I had pneumonia across both of my lungs, over half of the capacity. So effectively, I was breathing on one lung. And whether they didn't really understand whether it was the impact of the fall and the cracked ribs and the fact that I'd spent all week shallow breathing that had got me there, but I had fluid in my lungs. It was horrible. I was in the hospital for about a week and a half. I had PAP machines, all that kind of stuff. And since then, my mindset basically shifted. And that isn't to say that I don't work long hours, because I do, but I think it's about working smart. And I think in the context of today, where we are, and we look at the younger generation and the work ethic that exists right now, I think you have to find a middle ground, because one thing is for sure, working hard does not mean that you're going to be successful. It just doesn't. You've got to figure out how you can work hard, work smart, and more importantly, make the most of the resources that you're getting in exchange for the time that you're spending working hard, right? How many people go to work every single day for at the end of the month to get paid, and they have absolutely nothing to show for it? We're talking about a budget soon, right? Where taxes are going to increase and we're going to see a huge shift in household finances. Interest rates on mortgages are going to go up. People coming off mortgages are going to see their mortgage payments go up by a few £100s. So against today's context, if you're feeling disenfranchised and the fact that work doesn't seem to be working for you, and then you read an article like this saying you should be working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, no wonder you're probably feeling like you're trapped in a rat race that you can't escape. And what I said earlier about working smart and hard is crucially important. Making use of the resources that you get in exchange for that time is important. I talk a lot about investing here on this channel. And if you are younger, or maybe even if you're in the older demographic, this is putting your money to good use, putting your money in the market so that your money can actually work for you and build whilst you're doing nothing, whilst you're sleeping. You don't have to be a multi-millionaire to be able to do this. You can do this now with £100, £200, £10 a month if you wanted to. It all starts at small levels, but it grows and compounds over time. So it's really important to work smarter rather than harder, and be intentional with the resources that you are getting in exchange for your 9 to 5 or whatever it is that you're doing. If you're a founder in a business, you're a business owner like myself, then yes, obviously putting the time in is important. And even if you're an employed role, you want to go for promotion, putting the time in is important. But I do not believe for 1 second you should be working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and think that that's what's going to make you financially secure, because that's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. And talking about investing, I've got a message for you here from our sponsors, XTB. They're giving away a free share in Rolls-Royce. This is how you can get one. All right, now before we carry on, I have a question for you, and it's a serious question. Would you like to own Rolls-Royce? And I don't mean the car, because obviously that would be very, very nice. But if your answer to that question is, yeah, Pete, that would be amazing, thank you very much, then I have to mention today's sponsor, XTB. Now, they are giving away to new customers 1 free share in Rolls-Royce. Here's how you can claim yours in 3 simple steps. So step number 1, head over to XTB and register for a free account. Step number 2, when you're registering for this account, make sure that you accept the terms and conditions to take part in this free share offering. Step number 3, deposit some money into your XTB account and make sure that your account is fully verified. Once you've done this, and within 3 business days of your deposit clearing, you will then be credited with 1 free share in Rolls-Royce. Now, just to let you know, they recently ran a similar campaign where they gave away a free share in Uber. That ran out in 4 days. This is a limited availability. It is first come, first served. I will literally put a link in the description and in the comment section for you to start the process and get a free share. I have my fingers crossed for you, and let me know how you get on in a future video in the comment section down below. Look, be sure to check that offer out from XTB. I'll leave a link in the comments and description down below. But I'd love to know what you think of this article right here. I get it. Hard work is important, but honestly, It's not more important than your mental health, work-life balance, if there is such a thing. I don't think I've ever got that right in all the years that I've been working, let alone being a business owner. But one thing I can tell you for sure is all the money doesn't matter if you're burnt out, you're suffering in your mental health with anxiety, depression, just exhaustion, and you're definitely missing a trick if your physical health starts to decline as a result of it, because the money will only go so far. So why not look after yourself, get balance wherever you can and whatever that looks like for you. Look after your mental health, make sure you're not burnt out, look after your physical health whilst working the hours that make you feel as optimal as possible and as efficient as possible within whatever you're doing, whether you're a business owner or an employee. I'd love to know what you think of the comments down below. Is it just me? Am I crazy? I think it's a crazy headline. It's just, I don't think that's where we should be going. And I thought we left this kind of mentality behind, but maybe I'm just wrong.